Hej og velkommen til. I dag der starter der en ny sag fra USA. Det handler om en grænsevagt, der er tiltalt for at have dræbt sin elsker, sin kæreste og deres 20 måneder gamle søn ved at stikke dem ihjel. Det er en sag, som jeg vil dække starten af. Bagefter så vil jeg sende det over til min gode ven og kollega MLS Law Show, som vil køre eftermiddagen. Men jeg tænkte, vi kunne lige så godt hoppe på den, så er vi da klar her fra morgenstunden af. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Today I'm starting this new trial with the Border Patrol agent who is accused of stabbing his lover and their 20-month-old son to death. I know some of you are expecting Dave to show up. I will turn the stream over to him at around noon when he had his planned stream. I just thought that instead of people having to go other places to see the beginning, I could do the first couple of hours and Jen simul stream with Dave, so we get the views, and then he can do the afternoon show. It's the evening show for me, so I thought it would be the best of both worlds, just as Hannah Montana sang about. It was supposed to begin now, but when we look in court, we still have the seal of Texas or whatever that is. So I hope that it will be beginning, or else we'll find something else to talk about. I don't know. I have maybe I can invite somebody on, but it's not a particularly nice case, this one. Allegedly, he stabbed his lover and their 20-month-old son to death. And why is hard to say. If he was jealous or because his lover wanted to keep the baby and raise it on her own, it seems an odd case. And again, I don't want to prejudice anyone against it, because it's, as we've tried to do on this channel, it's up to the evidence to show what we believe about the case. But again, another gruesome case. It seems like there's a lot of them going around, and again, it's just it's a sad case with a 20-month-old baby. But let's see who's here and say hello to people. Boom, boom, boom. Can I pull up? Yes, I can. Hello, Jody. I'm not. It's the first time I'm streaming on 2 channels, so bear with me, and I'll try to pull up things as good as I can. And good morning, Wendy. It's nice to see you. Josie is here. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's afternoon. My place, it's 4 in the afternoon. Good morning. Welcome. Nerf's Turf. Jody, yeah, I'm sorry if you didn't get the beginning. It's I'm always starting out talking Danish, as I am a Dane, and it's a Danish channel. So if you're over at David's, it's probably a little unusual, but I'll try to do it as good as I can in English afterwards. And so far, I've only seen one other Dane in the chat, so I'll probably be speaking English as much as possible. Hey, Sal. Oh, Jamie, I asked you if you want to come on, but if you have the time, you can fill in some gaps, because not some gaps, but some time, because they're not really doing anything in Texas. So maybe David was right, and we should have waited until noon, because again, as I was told, it should be beginning here at I believe it's 9 o'clock Texas time, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't know when they're going to start, Jody. So I hope they start before you have to leave. But thank you for showing up. Yeah, and I thought because I knew David was going on later, I could keep you warm so you didn't stray, because you audience you're a fickle bunch. So maybe you would go and watch this trial someplace else, and you shouldn't do that. You have to stay around and watch it with David. Yeah, he had a tan, and it's in the weekend when he's up working on the boat. Yeah, I don't know. We have to send Indigo down there. Nice to have you. Yeah, again, it's there's so many crazy cases that it's hard to believe how you can have this much. And again, this is only the ones that makes the YouTube because there's always something stupid going on. When I go and read and try to look into cases, there are some you would wish could be on YouTube because they are just so crazy. And I'm from Denmark, and we don't speak Dutch in Denmark. I know somebody believes that this is a Dutch accent. It's just a Danish accent. Yeah, Jody, it's I'll be doing Danish lessons at some point, so I don't have to speak English because I'm illiterate in every language, so I can just keep to my own. Yeah, I thought you would be on work because I've seen the other days you'll be ready to go online at around 8 my time, 8 or 10, so I didn't want to send you a link. Yeah, fair. I know you stray. Yeah, I'm doing the fluffer duty because, as I said, those Texans they don't want to work. They're not really doing anything. So I'm just wondering if I'm too early. It wouldn't be the first time that I came too fast. Oh, sorry, I have to remember David's channel is on mine too, so I can't say things like that. But you can do whatever you will. I'm just trying to keep you entertained for a couple of hours, uh, and hopefully we will start the case. Or else I'm just sitting here dancing in my chair and try to keep people entertained. And I'm a pretty good chair dancer. So, oh, I see somebody moving in. It could be. Oh yeah, I think there's gonna be something happening in court in a few seconds. Yeah, it's okay, Sal. I knew you were working, so it's not Faville. It's I would never. This is getting lost, so it's not the right translation. You have to go back to Google. I'm trying, but now I have some help because it looks like somebody showed up for work. And as always, when there's some sound, tell me if it's okay.
I was going to talk to y'all in chambers about a couple of things before we started, but I decided to just do it out here while the defendant is out as well. Uh, it's more administrative and sort of housekeeping rather than anything else. But okay, record reflect that the defendant is in the courtroom sitting with counsel at counsel table. So let's see. We didn't. I'm sure we did talk about this, but approach please. But it has to do more with the again the evidence part. Two things. One, there has been evidence that has been admitted already, right? Uh, I'm more concerned about the big blowups, the posters, of the diagrams of the area, because since they're admitted,
And of course, they turned out this turned off the sound just as I tried to boost it. So, but we'll see when they start. But it seems like they had a bit of housekeeping to do, and with poster sizes, well, it's not the size of the poster; it's the information on the poster that's the most important. I am always saying that. Yeah, he was acting a bit strange in the prior trips to the courtroom, laughing at inappropriate times and stuff like that. But again, we have to go into this as we always do, trying to be fair and say, let the evidence show what he did, because I'm I'm borrowing this stream from some other place, and they are always doing the clickbaity headline, and I'm thinking, shouldn't we just try and do what I do when I'm doing my layman duty? Listen to the court and listen to the evidence, because everyone has an opinion about what he did, or who did what, and we have to listen and have the court or the state prove that he did it. It's too easy to just pass judgment without any evidence. And as we've seen in Mo's trial with the lizard guy, we totally changed our opinion of that guy when he took the stand. So maybe in this trial too, we could change our mind. But when we hear about a 20-month-old baby dying, you just get a bad feeling in the stomach, is my opinion. But let's see. No, Nicholas didn't cut his hair and trimmed his beard. It's just me. I'm from Denmark. Nicholas is from Sweden. We sound kind of alike, I think. He would probably say, I speak like I have potatoes in my mouth. It's something the Swedes tease us Danes with. And we say the Swedes sound like the Swedish chef from the Muppet Show. So it's not Nicholas, but I'm a pretty good second tier Nicholas, if you want me to be. Yeah, it's okay, Jody. We're just having fun on YouTube. I have my whiteboard, Farrell. That's my demonstrative. No. Thank you for letting me get the easy job and do the morning streams. Then you can take over, and when the chat is getting riled up and getting a little bit out of hand, then you have to corral them all night. It's like herding cats with OCD who's on Colombian marching powder sometimes. So I take the easy morning trip, and then you have the hard afternoon trip. There's something about a syringe and stuff like that. We'll see where it takes us. Yeah, he looks kind of douchey, but again, we have to be fair. We have to listen to the evidence. It's always the problem in these cases. We really want to have an opinion before going into it, but as we always say, in the cases where we like the defendant, we have to give him the reasonable doubt. They have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that he did it. And I know it's so easy because, again, he looks a bit douchey, and there's a small child involved. So we're probably jumping to conclusions faster than we would in other cases. I'm not even sure who Chris Watt is, but in this case, he was in a relationship, and this was his first or second girlfriend. He was a player. So yeah, and I can see you're over on David's chat, so you probably never seen me before, but I'm trying to fill the gaps for David, so you are all ready to go when he gets off this crazy thing he calls work. But I can steal a couple of watch hours too, so it's a win-win situation. Well, he was with this woman, and again, he wasn't with this woman because he was in another relationship. But if you have enough love, you can share it between a couple of ladies. Just don't stab them. Yeah, that's the biggest problem with tapping into all this true crime stuff. We we are getting to know some people we might not want to know. That's a big problem. So I'm just I'm just glad that I get to cover this and don't get to know all the other people in this case. I know I have problems with this one. So yeah. I'm sorry, it's just my YouTube acting up. Yeah, she was with this baby, and I can't understand that he should kill her because she wanted to raise this baby alone. If he wasn't with her, and I believe he had kids with the woman he was with, and it's a 20-month-old baby, so it couldn't be a surprise that she had the baby, and she was supposed to be leaving town or something. It's a crazy story, but again, I won't be telling too much. We have to. No, I can't say that. We're jumping in the pool without knowing how deep it is. Or the link to my channel is Wendy. What's the link to my channel? I gave you a wrench for some reason. Yeah, it could be that he's the crazy obsessed ex-girlfriend or boyfriend, or he could just be a guy who only wanted the fun parts with a woman, not the taking care of your own offspring kind of things with a woman. It's just again a 20-month-old. It get my blood boiling. Yeah, maybe, or maybe he didn't want to lose control because allegedly he was talking about wanting to raise this kid alone, and maybe she was asking for alimony. Who knows? We'll have to see where the court or the evidence leads us. Again, uh, there are things in the affidavit and stuff like that that if you want to read up on what the police believes happens, then you can do it. But again, this case was supposed to be starting, but they have to do all the housekeeping, and then the opening statements they will probably lay out why they believe he killed her. Thank you, Mass. Yeah, and something about the baby being bit by a spider, and then it turned out to be an 18-inch needle or something that it's been stabbed with, and they found this needle in his bag, so they had to go somewhere to get the kid treated, and then they met up at a park, and he allegedly killed them at that park. So it seems like a really crazy story, and I hope they get to the opening statements, because then we can get the outline of what this case will be about. But the things I've seen online is pretty strange, and I hope Dave have the time to cover it, because I like to follow along in these crazy cases. And again, as we have seen in many cases, even the most crazy cases, we often find out that there's a little twist or a little turn that we didn't expect. The Murdoch case, all the financial crimes, the Zachary Anderson case, the prison snitch, and stuff like that. It's always interesting to follow along. And again, as I'm doing my layman duties here in Denmark and sitting in court, there's always something you can learn from every case almost. And that's why I like following along in these cases. And I'm so happy that it's televised in the US, because we can't do this in Denmark. So I couldn't cover Danish cases in this way. But I do cover some Danish cases in English too. So if you're new here and you want to see how crazy we can get in Denmark, I have a case about a woman who was stabbed 11 times while 8 months pregnant. That case has just been postponed, the ruling in that case, because there were some appeals going on. And I have another case with a young nurse student who was stabbed 231 times. No, not stabbed 231 times. She was found in at least 231 pieces. And the guy in that case just said he panicked and then had to cut her up to cover it. So we have some strange cases in Denmark too. But if you are so inclined and like to see cases like I do, you can go on my channel after I'm finished streaming and Dave has finished streaming his, and then you can get caught up in those cases. The one with the girl in 231 pieces should be going to the verdict in this week, and the other one was supposed to also, but it got postponed because of appeals. Yeah, that's yeah. There was this. Didn't someone cover a border patrol case where he went around killing ladies of the night too? He had killed 4 or 5. It's a strange one. So yeah, oftentimes more than their real pieces. The side pieces is always the one they want to have around. Oh, I'm so behind. I'm sorry. So, but it's nice to see chat entertaining yourself while I'm lagging behind. Thank you so much, Iris. Oh, sorry, this one. Yeah, what's wrong with people? It's the amazing thing about the human race. Whenever you think this is the rock bottom, somebody is stabbing a 20-year-old or an 8-month pregnant lady, and you're just sitting around and thinking, well, maybe that fire and brimstone idea is pretty good sometimes, because people are just weird. I'll have to see that, but I've seen some pretty good judge chairs in the U.S. We only have normal office chairs here in Denmark. Oh, it looks comfy. But again, if he's going to be there for 6 or 8 hours sitting down, I would need a comfy chair too. Did you send me a message? Yeah, I can see you sent me a message. I'll just do this and do this so we can get a much better stream. Yeah. Again, and it was such a strange case that he did it with his service weapon. And what's wrong with people working in border patrol? It's they're players and then they're killers. It's odd people. I don't understand why. Jody, you don't want to be getting involved in a new case, and then you say, "Well, I'm just gonna watch for an hour," and then it's 11 o'clock in the UK, and you're trying to get to bed because another day just disappeared watching not a fun trial, but an interesting trial from the US. I do it all the time too. I can't understand why we can spend so much time watching other people's trials, but it's interesting. Reindeer, this guy is alleged to have killed his lover and their 20-month-old son. It was supposed to start. It looks
Let's
like
bring in the jurors.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, the witnesses. The witnesses, please.
The witnesses, not the jurors. And they had a sidebar because the judge wanted to do some talking in chambers, but he wanted to do it in trial. So it's yeah, I don't get it. But hopefully we get going now. And just to let everyone know, at noon I'll be turning this stream over to David. He has a stream planned for later. We are simulcasting, so David's channel is also broadcasting this, but he will do for me, late night shift, and I'm just fluffing you up so you are ready to give Dave a warm welcome. And I can see some of you are in Dave's chat too, so you are ready. But at noon, I'll be turning it over when he's not doing his job thingy. And then you don't have to listen to me speaking and paddling because there's nothing happening in court. It's a big problem. Some days I'm down to 4 or 5 hours of sleep because I just have to watch one more video. And everyone, the best part of the day, we have Jamie here.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, no problem.
He's going to swear them all in at the same time, or
Trickle in, please. Witnesses that have been subpoenaed to be here or have requested to be here, please come on in. Everyone, please file in. I know it's a whole bunch of you, and I'm going to try and we're going to get everybody's name on the record who is here. Anybody else? We'll address that in a minute. Any other witnesses? Come on in. Get on this side for me, please. Can you all step a little bit forward so I can get the people in the back? Thank you. Thank you right there. And of course, I need to hear who you are, but more importantly, our court reporter does, okay? So make sure you say your name firmly when you are here. If you want to identify yourself as, you know, what agency you work with, you can do that as well. If you don't work with an agency, but you're just here individually as a person for whatever reason, then just your name will be fine.
Yeah,
first name and last name. Thank you. We're going to start my far right to identifying yourselves, and we're going to trickle that way. And then as we finish with the back side of it, then we'll come right back in. Okay?
Nope. All right, Dave's chat is on this, so I can't talk
your
about
name and agency if you have. Thank you.
Officer Gregorio de la Cruz, Laredo Police Department.
It seems like they are presenting themselves, the witnesses is presenting themselves before the trial starts. This seems weird. I don't know if it's to cut down the time they are on the stand or something, but all the witnesses in the same room, I don't understand this. Yeah, it's.
Thank you. Up here.
Yeah, it seems like such a strange thing to do, and do the witnesses all have to be there all day, or can they go home after this one? I don't get it. If it's to swear them all in at the same time, they can't go through all these witnesses today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly, Mass. It's just stupid.
Laredo Police Department. Detective Richard Reyes, Laredo Police Department. Francisco Novalana, United States Border Patrol.
Thank you.
Bradley Dennison.
Yeah, it's fine if they're just swearing in, but all these witnesses and they have to do opening statements and everything. If we're lucky, they might get through one or two today because they are starting late too. I'm not sure.
All right, everyone has been identified. All of you, please raise your right hand and you will be sworn in.
This is weird.
Do you want each of you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Did anybody in this big group fail to say yes or I do on that question? Because obviously it's a big group. Anybody? All right. The record reflect that every single one of the persons here that were named, that have been named, answered that question affirmatively. Okay, you have been sworn in as witnesses. You have been called in. I'm going to assume that most of you have been called in by the state as witnesses. Does any, do you have any defense witnesses that you'd like to bring in now? Or are you going to wait till later for that, Mr. Pena, Mr. Boggs?
Judge, we have no one.
All right, thank you, sir. When that time comes, please understand that the rule will be invoked, and to make sure they don't come into the courtroom during this guilt innocent phase. Okay, so the rule has been invoked. So that means, for those, most of you already know what that means because I see a lot of familiar faces from the Laredo Police Department and the Sheriff's Office. So those of you who don't know, when the rule is invoked, I am now forced to instruct you, and I hereby do instruct you, that you cannot talk about your testimony with any of the other witnesses, okay? You cannot be inside of the, you have to be outside of the hearing of this courtroom
No, David,
until
no,
your name is
during
called as a
trial.
witness, okay?
Oh, in court.
You cannot discuss your testimony with each other or with anyone else other than the attorneys for either side. And that's only if you wish to discuss it with them. Also, the same way you can't be in here, you know, listening to testimony, you can't have anybody else here for you and then going back and telling you what the testimony was ahead of you. That will also be a violation of the rule. Now, also, when you come in and you testify, then you can't go back and tell somebody else what your testimony was already. That will also be a violation of the rule. Does everybody understand the parameters of that?
Yes.
All right, very good. Does anybody have any question with regard to the rule? A violation of my instructions and the rule could subject you to being found in contempt, and you could be fined, and you could be jailed in accordance with the parameters of the particular rule. So please refrain from any of that conduct. Now,
No,
we expect this case,
Okay.
this phase of this trial, I believe they said maybe a week and a half or so. So I'm not going to have all of you all sit in the hallway waiting until your name is called. But I don't know when your name is going to be called. The ones who have more control over that is in fact the party who in fact had you served with the subpoena of being here, and I imagine that would be the state. So get together with them if you're going to be leaving the hallway of this courtroom, and make sure you know a day ahead if you're going to be testifying the next day. Doctor, for you, we're going to try and give you a more specific time as opposed to just a day, because I don't want to take up your entire day. So make sure that, Mr. Alanis, I'm sure that you make arrangements with the doctor to make sure that he has a more specific time with regard to him. He probably will testify so that we don't take up his entire day and he can see to his patients.
welcome.
All right, thank you. So other than that, please make, you have contact information for all these witnesses, Mr. Alanis? Your team does?
Excuse me, sir.
You have contact information for all of them?
Yes.
Okay.
And we probably get the doctor on the phone now.
Okay. All right. Then thank you very much. You're excused for now until you are called as a witness. Thank you.
Well, this was a new one. That's the first time we've seen that he swears all the witnesses in and sequesters them so they can't talk about the case. But
Okay.
One quick question. Some of our witnesses which are the mother and the brother, are for punishment, not for the case in chief.
Right. So you want to know if they can stay in the courtroom? I don't think that's, normally it's not a problem if they're not going to be testifying during the guilt and innocence phase. Defense counsel have any objection to that or any comments? Thank you. Okay.
does he have a small ponytail that?
Very well. Then I got to take care of one more thing. Opening statements. We've given you 40 minutes, but you say might take 30. Defense, you say you will not reserve. You will follow him on the state right after, and you will take all you need is 10. Obviously, I've given you more time, but you said you probably only take about 10 minutes. So we'll do it that way. I got address that one issue that we talked about before I leave. Toward the media, this is a trial that has going to have many exhibits. The monitors are up there just so that people can, for the benefit of the folks that are in the gallery, they can follow along and whatnot. This, I believe strongly in open courts, and this is one of the ways of being able to do that. At the same time, there are many things that are going to come in as exhibits in this trial. I suspect some of them have already been pre-admitted. So I know that there's going to be graphic photographs. The media, you are not allowed, one, to have any part of the jury in your video site, period. The cameras go off when the jury's walking out. Cameras go off when the jury's coming back in. And I know that there is no camera pointed at the jury box, but I also know that these modern cameras have a way of swinging that way. So please make sure that that does not happen. I know we talked about this already. So and the guys from the local media, I know that you've talked about this with me already. So please continue to do that. Also, with regard to the exhibits that are going to go up, we are going to do our best. My policy has always been on the outside of monitors, the ones that are not directed toward the jury. We try our best to turn those off when we believe, and this is our discretion alone, that they're going to be graphic. And so those are we're going to do our best to turn those off, but I can't guarantee you we're going to get to that. So I know that the state has said that they will give a heads up with regard to that, some sort of when that exhibit is going to be coming up. So it'll help us for that purpose, and it'll also obviously for the benefit of the gallery, family, friends. If you'd like to turn away, step out, it might be a time to do it at that particular moment. Okay, and I know that the state has already probably talked to you all about that.
It seems like he wants to have a tight ship, but still an open ship.
But I do not want any of that. The final instruction to the media with regard to that, I don't want, especially local media, don't want that on our graphic photos of that nature. Something that you would not, obviously publish. I don't want that. On your feed. It's all right. So I think enough said with regard to that, but you know where I'm coming from on that. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else that leave out? I think that's it. So we'll be back in 2 minutes. You got to take care of one little thing, and then we'll be back and start opening, or not opening, but we'll swear in the jury. We've already sworn in the jury individually. We'll swear them in together, and we'll remind them of the instructions fully, and then we'll read the indictment, get his plea, get started with opening. Thank you.
Please rise.
Well, it's a new thing. We haven't seen this mass swearing in before, and I like that he tells people off on or in court, so we can see what the rules are. It's nice to have a judge who lays down the law, but again, he says he wants an open court and don't put all the graphic pictures up. I like this judge. It'll be interesting to see how he runs his courtroom. It's going to be something different than Judge Schroeder, I believe. It seems like he's a nice guy, but with an iron fist. I like people like that. Yeah, exactly. We don't want the little baby if they have some bad pictures of him shown all over the world. I know some people like the gruesome things, but as long as it's small children, I'm not a big fan of it. Yeah, I'm glad when the age agrees with me. She's the smartest person I know. Yeah, and I'm always playing with a pencil, or else I'm doing the Will Ferrell thing too when I'm on screen, because it's kind of weird sitting here. So I'm always playing with a pencil. That's why what I'm doing off screen. So I'm not doing anything. It might look like something else, but it's just me playing with a pencil, because I have a tendency to talk a lot with my hands too. But I like this judge. I think he seems like a guy who can keep it together, especially in a case like this. This could be a very emotional case, and there could be some outburst in court. But let's hope that they keep it together. There's no holdup right now. It's he just wanted to go back and fix some small things, and then he will come back and they will swear in the jury, and then they will go straight into opening. I have the feed running in the background, and it's still on the Seal of Texas, or whatever you call the one with the big star in the middle. So it's probably just I don't know, maybe he had to take a pee break before starting. But he said that they had 40 minutes each for opening, as far as I heard it. So it won't be all day. And now there's something going back on this. Yeah. If you're from my side, please remember to go over and give David's channel a like too, because everything helps in the algorithm. And what we all want to do is get more people to watch us. And YouTube has a funny way of, if you are chatting in the chat, or if you're liking, or if you're going to a video afterwards, commenting on that video, it gets the algorithm to do something strange, and then more people can see us. And you are here because Dave has some of the best content on the internet. So give him a little like and boost his algorithm too, because then you don't have to do that stupid thing called work, and then you don't have to listen to me. It's a win-win-win. Well, it wasn't I just saw that David was going on at noon, and then I saw this case would be starting at 10 o'clock, but that didn't hold true. So I thought I could cover the morning, and I get a few watch hours in, and then Dave could be jumping straight into the trial at noon, instead of having to play catch up. Because not you, Reindeer, I know you would never go anywhere else, but somebody might find another channel to watch this case on, and that would be too bad for Dave, because we all want to watch him and watch him grow. So I'm just happy to have his crew connected to my channel too, so he gets the extra watch hours. He's a good a good friend, and a good supporter of mine. So I'm just happy to have his channel get a little extra eyes on it. I love you too, Josie, but I'm not as good as Dave yet, but I'm working on it, and I'm just happy to help him. This case is about a Texas border agent who allegedly stabbed his mistress and their 20-month-old son to death. We are pretty cold, all of us. We haven't done any lead into this case, but I've read a few things about it. It seems like a weird case, that he possibly killed her because she wanted to raise the kid alone. But again, he was in a relationship, so it could be that he was afraid she was gonna sing to the wife, or I don't know. It could be anything, but we're just about to have the jury come in and then be sworn in, and then we should be going straight into opening statements. And later I will redirect you to Dave when he's finished working, and you can follow the afternoon at his channel. Oh, that's nice. I hate Danish accents. It's we sound weird when we hear ourselves talking. It doesn't seem like it's English in any way. Well, not much up, Lefty. It's another murder trial. Another child, sadly, has been killed. So it'll be a hard one to go through. I believe this one, but it could be an interesting one. And it's already interesting that the judge swore in all the witnesses before the trial, and then told them they can't talk to anybody. That's a thing I haven't seen before. Well, if Dave need me to cover anything else, we'll try to work it out. I don't know how much he's gonna work, but if he needs me to cover things in a dual stream like this, I'll be more than happy to. I was supposed to have 2 Danish cases ending today, so I didn't have time to stream, but they got postponed. So I had all this time, and I just thought, well, better to jump on, and then I can redirect you to Dave. And if he needs me to quarterback for him on another time in this week, I'll be happy to do so. It's and this dual streaming we can do through StreamYard is great, because then both of us can get eyes on our channels, and that's what the algorithm is all about. You are so very welcome. If you're half Irish, what's the other half? I love you too, Farrell. I have to, or else you will release the pictures. So I love you, but I'm afraid of you. And I don't know what happened to Jamie. She's probably working too. Yeah, that's the one we know from the telenovelas and all the other crime TVs. But here it sounded like she wanted to leave him and just take the kid. So maybe it's like in a divorce where a dad kills the mom, so she can't take the kids. We have seen that too. We can speculate all we want, but again, after opening statement, we know what the picture is from both sides, and then we can speculate all we want and make up our own minds when they present all the witnesses. Because as always, as I try to do, and I know David tried to do, we don't judge the man before we have seen the evidence, and we give everyone the reasonable doubt. And this judge is going to the toilet in a very long time. So I don't know if we even get started before David comes and take it. You're so very welcome. It's not a problem. And as long as I'm entertaining you and you like it, I'm just happy.
Jesus.
Welcome back. You
Hi.
didn't miss anything.
I know. I had to mute because I took a work call and then the app crashed on me. And then it was doing that thing where it wasn't like my video wasn't working. I'm like, oh, come on.
Not today.
I know. So they just bring him very in.
And we were just waiting for I don't know how much you watched, but the judge, he swore all the witnesses in, told them they couldn't talk to anyone. Then he said he had a small thing to take care of. I believe it's a toilet break. And then we will be getting into opening statements. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's it seems to be a thing that's going around. And there's just a lot of interesting, and I know it's bad to say that, but a lot of interesting murder cases, because it's always interesting to see why people do what they do.
I know.
And this, what's his name? The college stabber. I should probably do this.
Brian.
The Kohlberger or something. it was just interesting what Dylan was talking about yesterday with the DNA evidence. So again, we start out with a trial. We have a clear picture of where this trial is going, and after a little bump in the road, some might change the way they view the case, because I just think it was very sus with the DNA and no DNA in the car and stuff like that. So it's it's always interesting to see where we end up going into cases like this. And I have to go back to this. Sorry, it's yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mads, we have gang killings in Denmark too. Just go out to Christiania and they are fighting and stabbing each other out there too, fighting over the drug market. So maybe it's because you have easier access to weapons that it seems more gruesome to us. Maybe, but again, we are 5.5 million. You are 365 million or something like that. So yeah, the amount of gangland killings, there's more people getting off in Chicago in a weekend than in Denmark for a full year. So it seems extreme to us, but again, we are 5.5 million. That's a small big city in the US here. So but we always say our entire country could be in Hamburg, Germany. It's just one big German town is our full country, because we are not very many Danes. Yeah, and guys named Mads is usually very smart, so you better listen to him, Wendy. It's my real name. And just for all your information, the D is silent, as it is in most Danish words.
So is it mass?
Mads.
Huh.
You all want to pronounce the D, so it's Mats, and that's in Sweden and Norway. They're called that. And now I'm not sure what the LNC is doing. It's interesting, but hopefully they get back. But he said he just had to go back. We're just waiting for anything to happen. The judge. Oh, now they're back. The judge said he has to do a small thing, and then we'll be going into opening statements. But it's been 15 minutes, so maybe he has a dodgy stomach. And what was it's funny how the algorithm hits you with different stuff if you've been seeing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and it's always so sad that they believe it. That's the way out. I used to go to school with a girl who, she took her daughter into the bedroom and lit a barbecue, and they went to sleep, the long sleep, because the dad wanted to have parental visitation rights with her. It's always sad when things like that happen because people get angry.
Yeah. I know.
I haven't heard about that
why
one.
would they do that? And it's just like people are like, you can't get in people's heads. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's and the worst thing, she was a perfectly normal lady, and then we had a winter break, came back, and then she and her daughter was gone because she didn't want the dad to have any interaction with her, because she just wanted to keep him away.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like mess. That's the way to pronounce it. Take the D away and put an extra S in. Then you got it.
Well, now we know. I've been calling him Mads
Yeah, but
For so
that's
long.
typical, and that's why I didn't use my own name because I'm Mads too. So and I know people can't say it, and if I threw my last name into it too, David would have an aneurysm, mispronouncing
His
it,
head would
mispronouncing it.
explode.
So we know how he's great with last names.
I think that should be like a stream of just getting David to pronounce your name.
But it wouldn't be a long stream because you would just see his eyes cross and then he will fall backwards. I have the ones with the crossbar between the O's and stuff like that. It would be a mess. You don't pronounce half the letters and things like that. Indigo, why are you not in trial in court and get them to do something? It's been 20 minutes. We're just waiting. Yeah, this it's not unique to any places. Oh my, yeah, we're
Okay,
back.
let's get the jury. Please have a seat. Well, actually, remain standing for the jury.
Yeah,
Where is this at?
And I'll address the conversation at some other point. For now, the jurors staying.
who's tapping there, Mike?
I don't know.
Oh. Yeah, it's a stupid Danish name that nobody can pronounce. It's derived from Matthias and means the gift of God. So Mads and I are God's gift to you.
That's what it stands for.
It's
feel like
yeah, that's I think half the names mean something like that when you ask people.
Well, I want to change my name. That sounds cool.
Mads isn't really a lady's name.
Can be.
Yeah, in the US you could use it. People would just Mads. No, Mads. But there's D in it. Yeah, you don't pronounce it. Why? Why did you put it in the first place?
I
Don't
know.
ask.
I hate silent letters. I'm like, why is it there then? I'm trying to be nice and pronounce it the way it looks.
Yeah, Matthew, Matthias. It's but it's supposed to be the gift of God. So, but again, it's if you ask any Danish Americans who have done a genealogy, everyone is a direct descendant of Ragnar Lodbrok, the one from Vikings. Because, funnily enough, either they are royalty or they are descended from some Viking hero, even though he probably never existed. But
I like it.
people pay extra if you have a little blue blood in it. Thank you so much, Wendy H. It's so nice to have you here.
Yes, Wendy. Morning.
Yeah, you're the king of mispronunciation. No. But Mads used to be the most popular name for many, many years in Denmark. So we are a lot of people standing there saying, no, it's not Mads, it's Mads when we meet English people. Yeah, then it's the menace. Now,
It does.
it's worse to be a Richard. It's just funny with these. This name means that. It's just like people who believe that I was born in this star sign. That's why I have I can't say David's chat is a SE personality. Nope, you're just an annoying person. It's not your star sign.
Thank you. All
I
right,
wish
please
I
have
knew
a seat.
I don't know what I mean.
Please have a seat. Actually, members of the jury, Ms. Shanice, if you could please stand. I know that so we haven't seen each other in a while, And when you were first selected to be on this jury, you took an individual oath. But I told you, once you're here, I think I'm going to remind everybody of that oath by asking all of you to take your oath again. We have 12 members of the jury, and we have 4 alternates who are here with us. Good morning and welcome back. Please, all of you, raise your right hand and be sworn. No, I'll get it. Do you, and each of you, solemnly swear or affirm that in the case of the state of Texas against the defendant, you will a true verdict render according to the law and the evidence, so help you God? Thank you. Please have a seat. I have given you all, or left you all on your seat, the jury instructions. I had probably read some of those instructions to you. I know I have, when we were all in a group at the makeshift 49th District Court at TAMU. And then I did some more reading of the instructions to you after you were selected individually at the individual jury selection. Now that you are all together, I am going to go over all of the instructions.
Gonna have a problem with you later.
Feel free to follow along or just listen, however you prefer. Members of the jury, you have been chosen to serve on this jury, and because of the oath that you have taken and under your selection for the jury, you have become officials of this court and active participants in our justice system. You have each received a set of written instructions. I am going to read them with you now. Some of them you have heard before and some are new. While in the courtroom and participating in this case, turn off all mobile phones and other electronic devices. Do not communicate with anyone electronically while you are in the courtroom or while you are deliberating. I will give you a number where others may contact you in case of an emergency. Do not record or photograph any part of these court proceedings because it is prohibited by law. To avoid looking like you are friendly with one side of the case, do not mingle or talk with the lawyers, witnesses, the parties, or anyone else involved in the case. You may exchange casual greetings like hello and good morning, but other than that, do not talk with them at all. They have to follow these instructions too, so you should not be
A
offended
lawyer with a nose ring.
when they do follow the instructions.
Is that
Do
professional?
not accept from any favors from the lawyers, the witnesses, the parties, or anyone else involved in the case, and do not do any favors for them. This includes favors such as giving rides and food. Do not discuss the case with anyone, even your spouse or a friend. Do not allow anyone to discuss the case with you or in your hearing. If anyone tries to discuss the case with you or in your hearing, tell me immediately. We do not want you to be influenced by something other than the evidence admitted in court. Do not talk about the case with anyone during the trial, not even with other jurors until the end of the trial. You should not discuss the case with your fellow jurors until the end of the trial, so that you do not form opinions about the case before you have heard everything. After you have heard all the evidence,
What's the
received
judge's
all my
name?
instructions, and heard all of the lawyer's arguments, you will then go to the jury room to discuss the case with the other jurors.
It's just the instructions. Hello,
Do
David.
not investigate
Hi,
the case
Hello,
on your
hello.
own.
How are you guys?
For example, do not try to
What
get
do you
information
about
about the
the
case, the
him
lawyers,
swearing in all the witnesses
or
at the
issues
beginning?
from outside this courtroom.
Judicial
Do not
economy.
go to places
I've seen
mentioned in
it
the
done
case to
once
inspect the
before.
places. Do not
It's just kinda
inspect
odd when it's a
items
jury
mentioned in
trial.
this case until they are presented as
Yeah,
evidence in court. Do
and
not try to learn
but
more
I can
about the
understand
case
it.
by
But
looking
couldn't he
things up
then
in
just
law books,
ask all the
dictionaries,
witnesses
public
if they're
records.
witnesses in
Do
the
not try to learn
beginning?
more about the case by
So
looking
we don't
things
have
up
to waste
on the internet.
hours of that.
And do not let anyone else
Well,
do any of
let's
these things
let's
for you.
examine
This
this in
rule is very
context, right?
important because we do not
He's
have a trial.
reaffirming the oath
Not
for the jury because it's been a couple of days.
conclusions about
What do you
the
think
case
he's going to do with with the witnesses? And then, did we really save any time?
All the evidence must be presented in open court so that the
Yeah, and
contested
again, it's just if he wants to make it faster, then he wastes 20 minutes after
special knowledge of some
after
such as business,
saying that well, it'll be a short while. Then he leaves the room for 20 minutes. It's again that it seems counterproductive.
We've
And,
not started opening yet, it looks like.
No, it's jury instructions.
Is wrong because it means the jury will be considering things that were not.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, David.
If taking notes will help focus your attention.
What
on
are you
the evidence,
doing?
you may take notes.
No,
Working.
Jody, they haven't started yet. They're still just telling them that they can't talk to anybody and they can't watch anything coverage as you can at noon, where David will be taking over, and you can get the coverage right over on his channel, MLS Law Show. Go subscribe if you haven't already.
I kind of like this duel thing with Baker and Dave.
Right. I
Yeah,
feel
well-
bad for Dylan because I told him I was doing it with him, but then Baker got to me first on Twitter.
Well, he's doing the.
Yeah, he's doing the Peterson, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't have had time anyway today.
No.
No, I was just seeing it was about to start, and I thought, well, if you're going on at noon, or you have to go back, and the ladies in the chat, they're fickle ladies. They run around, so I thought I could go on and keep him until you came back and could handle them.
Yeah,
But
no,
they're
that was a
already-
good idea actually to keep all you ladies corralled here to our little group.
Yeah, else
You gotta-
they are on Vice's channel or on
Gotta
Dylan's channel.
deliver.
It's good marketing, man. Keep like everybody entertained. Then we're not gonna, because they'll go find somewhere else to watch it.
Yeah.
Jamie, how come I didn't see you in my spontaneous stream from yesterday?
What was fun? Yeah, I was in there.
In the chat?
Yeah. And Dylan's.
No, my woodworking chat, my preview of the new channel coming.
I don't know. I'm not getting everybody's notifications. It's kind of pissing me off.
It was also in Discord, Jamie.
I don't know, Dave. Usually I'm on it.
Well, as long as you come back at night, right, Farrell? That's what's his
Yeah.
name?
Yeah, we're
It's
loyal.
Adam Sandler's song about his girlfriend being a whore, but she comes home to me, right?
It's the one go out and get appetite and then come home and eat the meal.
For $20, she might flick your, but she.
You now have your
comes home
badge
to
with
me.
you, your juror badge that identifies you as a juror.
Oh, they get a
Parking
badge.
pass, right? And you get up now. You don't have to show the letter anymore. Now you just come on.
Yeah,
That's
you have
right.
to let them go
Let you
and
up, you
see
get
if they
the
will come back.
You come right into the courtroom the same way you did this morning. You'll find exactly what I hope.
Why
promise you
why
will find
do
this
he?
morning in terms of
I know
something
he wants
something to eat in
the
morning,
open
just in
court
case
and
you
everything, but
do that.
couldn't he
getting
instruct
ready
the
for
jury
today,
behind the
that's the way
scene
you'll find
about
things every day.
coming in through this door and that door, and you have a badge you can use to show?
Thank you very much once again. And
Again,
we
if
will
he
start
swears in all the
process.
witnesses at one time, why are we wasting
told
so
you
much
that I
time
would
with the jury?
identify more or less what you would be looking at the way this process would
Well,
start. We will start with opening statements.
The
for
jury
both
is more important than the
state
witnesses,
and
I
the
would
defense.
guess.
Opening statements
But again,
are not
they are
evidence.
now being
Opening
in
statements
the
are, in
room
fact,
for 20
what
minutes
the
and
lawyers
haven't heard
believe
anything
the
you
case
couldn't have
that they will
told
present to
them
you will show.
in
What the
the
evidence
jury
will show.
room.
Can I just say,
Their
if looks could kill,
roadmap, if you will, of what
that
in
defendant
fact,
right there is
they
murdering
believe
everyone
the
in the
evidence
room.
will show. Okay. When it comes in,
Yeah, he looks like a
as
douche.
evidence, that's when it becomes.
That's what I said.
Um,
It's
Like from
there
the
has
get-go.
been many pieces of
Yeah.
evidence
There
that
are
have already
so
been
many
pre-admitted,
people in
and
there.
those are being shown. Some, if not most, will
It's a
be
big,
shown
yeah,
to the
that is a
court.
big courtroom.
Do you see
We'll
everybody's got
also
like a
have the
lunch
ability to have
table?
that at
Like
the
they're
end of the
sitting
trial
at
as well,
Jesus.
when you're
I
not-
would kill for
some of it will
a
be shown to you
kill
today
and or be
as the
killed
case unfolds.
for a
So when
courtroom
the
that big,
defense
like
also will have
tables
an
that big.
opportunity to give you their opening statement, their version of what the.
I like the one
evidence
with
will show.
in your
But again,
courtroom
it's
where
what
they
the
had
evidence will show, and it doesn't become evidence
the
until it actually
bottom of
comes.
the
Just keep that in mind.
tables
Throughout the
covered, so
trial,
you couldn't see what's
you need
underneath.
to understand that this is
Yeah, I
a,
like that too.
Yeah, if
an
you're in
adversarial
leg
proceeding.
irons, it's pretty nice
This is
that the
is a court
jury
of
can
law,
see that.
and it has lots of rules. And what we do here gets reviewed by other courts
Yes, you're
in
getting
the state.
a bit of the
Uh,
Salvador.
And,
It's,
and so as a result of that, the lawyers may
Take a
have to
cold shower.
object. Under the rules, they may have to object to something that is said, to something that's going to be said, to something that's going to be brought in. Don't concern yourself with those objections, or how many were given.
I gotta make a phone call.
Concern yourself more with the instructions that I give you with regard to that, if in fact I do give you an instruction with regard to that.
I'm sorry, I'll go back and find it.
If the lawyers have to do that, because if they don't make a timely objection, sometimes they may waive it. So therefore, that is the rules. That's what they have to follow. Don't concern yourself with that. Concern yourself more with the information you receive, with the instructions you receive from the court with regard to that as well. Very well. Let's get started. Mr. Anais, please read the indictment to this jury.
So here we go.
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, the grand jurors, duly selected, organized, sworn, and impaneled as such for the County of Webb, State of Texas,
This
at the
more
January and June term of 2018 of the 49th District Court of said county, upon their oaths, present in and to the said court that on or about the 9th day of April 2018 and interior to the presentment of this indictment in the county and state aforesaid, Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles did then and there intentionally or knowingly cause the death of an individual, namely Dominic Alexander Hernandez, an individual younger than 10 years of age, by stabbing Dominic Alexander Hernandez in the chest or slashing Dominic Alexander Hernandez's throat with a sharp object. Count 2. And the grand jurors aforesaid, upon their oaths, do further present in and to the said court that on or about the 9th day of April 2018 and interior to the presentment of this indictment in the county and state aforesaid, Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles did then and there intentionally or knowingly cause the death of an individual, namely Griselda Hernandez, by stabbing said Griselda Hernandez multiple times with a sharp object, and did then and there intentionally or knowingly cause the death of another individual, namely Dominic Alexander Hernandez, by stabbing Dominic Alexander Hernandez in the chest or slashing Dominic Alexander Hernandez's throat with a sharp object, and both murders were committed during the same criminal transaction against the peace and dignity of the state.
Thank you. To which the defendant, please, Mr.
Mr. Burgos pleads not guilty, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Hernandez, you may proceed with the opening statement.
May it please the court, counsel, ladies and gentlemen. This is a case about a danger within. A danger within a family, a danger within law enforcement, a danger within society. The evidence will show that on April the 9th of 2018 started like any other ordinary day. Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles, the man who sits here today, a supervisor, Border Patrol agent of 9 years, reports to the Laredo North Station for his shift from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. He arrives. The evidence will show that he goes to his morning meeting that's called muster, where the assignments are handed out. At about 8:01, after he's assigned his kilo unit, you're going to hear that word kilo unit during this trial. And that is the term that they use for the pickup trucks. We've all seen the white and green trucks driven by Border Patrol. He was driving one. K66119. K66119. That was the unit that he was driving. He exits at 8:01 a.m. His destination, Father McNable Park off of Mines Road. That is the area that he was going to be in charge of that day, and the evidence will show that that area covers from Father McNable Park all the way to World Trade Bridge. He is a supervisor, and he has other agents under his supervision. But today is going to be far from normal. Today, April the 9th of 2018, is the day that he is going to carry out a sinister plan. The evidence will show that he invites a young woman, a secret lover, and the child that they have together to the park. But the evidence will show that the meeting that he's setting up for them is not at the park, but it is in a dense, brushy area near the Rio Grande River. He instructs her to arrive at Father Magdebo Park, to park her car, and to take the walk to this secret meeting. We'll take you there. You'll see, and the evidence will show that she walks by the baseball field, then she walks through a nature trail, then she walks around a soccer field, then she gets near the river area, and that's where the dirt trail starts. The plan is to set up an ambush. The evidence will show that the Kilo unit, 66119, is parked at the end of this trail. We will take you to that trail. You will see the vantage point that when she's pushing her stroller and she enters the path, up ahead is the Kilo unit, the pickup truck. That's the decoy. What she doesn't know is that Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles is lying in wait. He is hiding, waiting for her to get close enough to the truck to carry out his ambush. The time around that this is going on is about 9:45 in the morning. The next few minutes that this young woman and this innocent baby experience is the most horrific and terrifying, unimaginable thing that anybody could imagine. It's at that time that her attacker comes out of the brush and with violent and vicious moves, clenching a knife, attacks this young woman. But what does every mother have? What does God give every mother when it comes to protecting a child? What will every mother do? The evidence will show that they will protect, that they will fight, and they will even die in order to protect their child, just like a mother bear.
Did you have a slide for that? Jeez, Pete's.
Who is this young mother? Who is this innocent baby? Lisenda Hernandez. And 18-month-old Dominic Hernandez. These are the two victims that on that morning lives were taken. The evidence will show that the plan that Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles set was to make it look like some smugglers had attacked this woman. The dirt trail that he used his skills, that he knew so well, the trees, the brush, the camouflage, areas that he had patrolled before, were perfect for this crime. What he did not anticipate was the fight. The fight. You see, when we take you to this trail, there is going to be a lot of evidence that was showed how violent this fight was. We're going to bring you physical evidence. There's going to be photos. There's going to be lots and lots and lots of blood. This dirt trail will tell a story. It will tell a very tragic and horrific story. You see, the evidence will show that baby Dominic was being hunted, but not by a creature, not by an animal, but by his own father, the man sitting here today, supervising Border Patrol agent Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles. But in order to get his prey, in order to get that baby, he needed to go through Griselda. "27 stab wounds." I said that. 27 stab wounds it took to stop Griselda. We will bring you evidence that will show stab wounds to her head, to her face, her shoulders, her back, her arms, her ear. Stabbed so many times that she was almost unrecognizable. You will see through the forensic evidence the defensive wounds on her hands that show how violent the attack was. You will also see that in the fight, she lost her shoes. The tennis shoes that she was wearing were off her feet. After he kills Griselda, and one of the things that you're going to have to pay attention to is that this fight, that it happens, this attack happens so sudden when she's holding the stroller with her baby, and he's got his little cell phone, his broken cell phone that only has certain apps or games. Comes from behind, the attack moves. You'll see the blood trail where she's trying to fight or get away until she dies. The fight moves from a south to north direction. I'm going to show you, this is a satellite view of the area of Father Mactabo Park, the Rio Grande, and the brushy area where this took place. We will take you there through the testimony, through the evidence.
you will see in this area of this dirt trail of where this ambush and attack took place. After he finishes with Griselda, he's now able to get the innocent baby. The evidence will show that as she lays dead, he walks back to the stroller. We'll bring you the stroller. You'll see the stroller. He gets in front of baby Dominic and he unstraps the buckle to take him out. Baby Dominic is confused at this time, probably scared. How do we know this? The evidence will show that Griselda's blood is on the straps, on the buckles, where he unbuckled the baby. Mama Bear's blood is there where he unbuckles the baby. What he does next is something that is unimaginable. He takes the baby into the grass, into the brush, closer to the river, holding the baby, 18 months old, his son, and you will see the pictures of Dominic. Dominic is wearing a little green shirt from Star Wars. And on that shirt, he has a picture of Yoda. It's the baby Yoda. It says, "Lucky I am."
Okay.
Not that day.
Lucky I am. We'll bring you the shirt and you'll see the shirt. One of the things,
What is this?
and again, I'm going to ask you
It's
throughout this style to pay close
the
attention
computer
to the
screen.
details.
So PowerPoint.
Oh, PowerPoint. Okay.
Details will prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. One of the interesting facts about the Lucky I Am little shirt, and I'll come and I'll show it to you, is that there is no hole in the shirt. Listen to that. There is no hole in the shirt.
Okay.
Why is that important?
Tell me.
Because when he takes baby Dominic to the grass under a huizache tree and lays him down, he picks up the shirt. He covers his eyes. He holds his hand over his little face. He takes the knife, puts it right in the middle of his little sternum, that little pigeon bone right here, and he punctures baby Dominic. But baby Dominic, like his mother, was a fighter, and he doesn't die. He doesn't die. He doesn't stop at that point. There's no clarity as to what am I doing to this child. No, he has to finish the job. So like he did to his mother, with the same sharp object, he puts it to baby Dominic's throat. That little 3-inch throat. Sticks the knife, cuts the carotid, and cuts the jugular vein.
of this baby. You'll see the blood. You'll see how Dominic was left drenched in blood on his jeans, on the left side. Evidence that shows that when he gets stabbed in the carotid artery, in the jugular, that squirts. That's where he has to step back. And that's where the baby tries to stand up or sit up and then falls down. There's a bunch of blood all over his jeans. You'll see it.
Yeah.
Now what?
It's a tough one.
Now what does the evidence tell us? The evidence will next tell you that Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles next is to stage the crime. Remember what we talked about in jury selection? Who decides where, when, and how to commit the crime? The defendant. Police have to work after. They have the head start. Him being a law enforcement officer, being trained, knows what they're going to look for. So let me create a scene. You're going to see the scene. The first thing the evidence is going to show is that he grabs a phone, the baby's cell phone that the baby would play games with, and he takes that. The next thing he does is that he throws the stroller to the east in the brush. There's a shoe around that area where the initial ambush took place. He grabs a shoe and he throws it towards the river. And it lands in the tall grass. Next, he has to go to Griselda. What does she have? That's important. Her phone. He grabs her phone. But what happens? What happens when a double murder has just occurred? There's adrenaline, nerves, fear. Panic starts to set in. And it's going to be very important for all of you to pay attention throughout this trial to see the mistakes that he makes. He had a plan. Now he's got two bloody, innocent people down. He has to stage it, but things start moving fast. There's going to be many mistakes that he committed, but the evidence, and I'll highlight just a few that you're going to see. The evidence will show that in the Kilo unit, 66119, the official Border Patrol truck that he was driving, he goes in there. The two phones that belong to both of his victims, he places them under his vest, the Border Patrol protective vest, and you'll see the name Burgos, R. Burgos. He stuffs them under on the passenger side. During the attack, when Griselda was fighting and kicking for her life, he loses a belt keeper. You see, you learn that police officers wear a belt, and then on top of that belt, they wear a Sam Brown, which is their utility belt where they have their gun. But that's held by keepers, typically 3 to 4 keepers around the waist to hold all the equipment together, right? One of those keepers falls. It falls. It's stepped on during the fight. And blood droplets fall on the belt keeper. And we'll show you who those blood droplets belong to. He throws that belt keeper into the truck. And guess where it lands? Under the front seat. Under the front seat. 9:49 a.m. How do we get that time? We're going to bring you GPS evidence. We're going to bring you every unit from Border Patrol has technology, right? We're going to bring you the evidence that shows that in this circumstance, when you turn off your unit, the system, the GPS system records the time it turns off. The evidence is going to show that the best calculation of when this murder took place was between 9:49 and 10:10 a.m. I'll repeat that. It's very important. 9:49 to 10:10 a.m. In between that time. At 9:49, the GPS turns off one time. Could it be that that's when Griselda was coming up, pushing the stroller, and he had to hide? At 10:10, it turns off again a little bit further down the trail at 10:10. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot going on at this time. What did we say in jury selection? That sometimes evidence is lost. Who controls the evidence? I'll tell you right now, we're not going to have bloody pants. We're not going to have a bloody shirt. We're not going to have bloody shoes, boots, or tennies. We're not. The evidence of what he was wearing, we do not have. Why? Because the evidence will show that he had time on his side. And if you want to see the knife that was used, you're not going to see it.
Okay.
We do not have the murder weapon.
Talking a lot about the evidence they don't have.
I know, because I was just like, you were talking about blood on his pants and stuff like that, and you don't have any of this evidence?
I'll tell you what we do have. We have technology.
Yeah, technology is not as good as a pair of
When
bloody
he's
pants.
leaving the brush area, there's a camera, a security camera set up by DPS in the brush facing an area where normally there's either criminal activity, and they're called drawbridge cameras.
Okay.
There is a camera pointing to the east. You will see his kilo unit, his truck driving by, and it snaps a picture. We will also bring you evidence of camera footage from throughout the city of his path after the murder. It's important to think logically and chronologically throughout this case. He has just killed 2 people using a knife. At least 29 stab wounds. You will see the tremendous amount of blood at the crime scene. How do you control so much blood? You can't. You can't. One of the mistakes was, and maybe it wasn't, but the evidence will show that baby Dominic's blood on the back tailgate Dominic's blood marking the truck of his killer. You're going to see it. You'll see video footage from his home, from the neighbor's camera, sometime after 10:15, 10:30, shortly after the double murder. You will see this man who sits here today. You will see him getting off his government vehicle in shorts and in tennies.
Okay.
I said that. You're going to see him after the murders get off his truck in shorts and tennies.
Oh, so because he wore a uniform at the
In
police
his
station.
full green uniform. He left at 8:01 a.m. with his full green uniform. And after the murders, his neighbor's video catches him getting off his truck and he leaves it on. He leaves it on. But you'll see a glimpse. You'll see the shorts, you'll see the tennies, you'll see him. He's not there more than 10 minutes. Comes out. Now you won't see the evidence of him coming out in his full green uniform. Unfortunately, we don't have that. Camera didn't catch it. But you'll have his actions of what he needs to do next. And what does he have to do? This man's in charge of this sector between Father McNabb Park and World Trade Bridge. He's just committed a murder. He's gone home. He's gotten rid of evidence, gone home, got dressed again. Now he has to get back. But what happens when he comes back? A couple of his agents see him. They see him driving erratically, speeding in the area near World Trade Bridge.
Okay.
What does that do? What does that do? You'll hear from those agents, and they'll tell you his demeanor. Things now are there's decisions now having to be made on the fly. Things happen.
Now we're getting into the believe
Maybe
me
somebody else was going
territory.
to find the body,
He was
but now
very
he's been
sure
spotted
of the
driving fast,
stabbings, but
probably trying to get to some
now
spot.
he's driving erratically.
So what does he decide to do?
Because of that,
Evidence will show.
you know.
Yeah,
He turns around.
I've been in and out a little bit, but is this a clear story and
Back.
narrative that he's setting out?
all the way to Father McNabb Park,
in the beginning, yes, but now he's back to his colleagues saw him
where he's
driving
trying to
erratically.
get back to the area where the two bodies now have been.
That
for
could be anything. It could be a bee in the car.
possibly an hour.
A June bug.
And
Yeah,
when he's
June bug.
driving in, he
Or-
runs into Border
Yep,
Patrol
ran off the
agents
road.
Lara and Smith, who happened to be parked
So
near the soccer field,
the beginning
Probably somewhere
seemed
they
like they
shouldn't have
had a
been,
lot of
but they
very
were there.
hard evidence,
Yeah.
fixing maps.
and now I'm not so
In their
sure.
truck.
And
The
I don't
evidence will
know,
show that
those trail
Border Patrol
cams,
supervisor pulls
they're
up.
usually not
His
the
hands are
best.
clenched on the steering wheel. And he asks a very
Yeah, well,
odd
we have to
question.
see them
You'll
present
hear it.
the evidence. We have to remember
asked Border
opening
Patrol
is just
Lara,
the storytelling, setting
What's
the
over
narrative.
there? Pointing to the brushy area. And Lara says, well, there's an ATV trail. There's a trail that we have.
It's like
Yeah, I've been in and out, Josie, but I agree. Sort of, it's clear as mud. It sounds really convoluted.
I think so, but you want
yeah,
to
and either he's a criminal mastermind and erratic wreck. Yeah, that's what Branko always said. Either you use the wrong bullet to defend yourself, or
right after that,
it's either too big or
the
too
evidence
small.
will show that he
it-
comes on the radio.
It's never right, and
Lara, get over here. I need you.
everything points to this killer in the state's mind.
That's where he initiates
And had he been driving carefully, it's because
this
he was
whole charade of finding a dead body. And we'll get back to that. But it's going to be very important for you to pay attention to what the Border Patrol agents and the police officers who respond, because the evidence is going to show, and you're going to hear that the one that makes the call is none other than Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles. The man that sits here today is the one that calls in about a subject down needing EMS. Send the ambulance.
I agree, Mess. And again,
Can we get more information?
we don't know how people
Send
react.
an ambulance. You're going to hear when he
Uh,
calls it in.
But if they have him on camera,
And you're
then at
gonna
his
hear
home,
and see
and then again calling in the
from the people that
accident.
come here, the witnesses,
it could be
this man was there.
they can tell the
They
jury a
arrived.
story about that. It seems like
Now-
they have the timestamps really good.
How did we get here? And
Oh,
this story, I
Davis in
cannot
the
tell
kitchen.
you this tragic story
without telling you the beginning. Because there is a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. The evidence will show in this story that Griselda met this guy who told her, the evidence shows, that his name was Anthony Burgos. That's very important. She knew him as Anthony. She got involved with him in 2015. You're going to learn that through her friends and family. She got involved with him in 2015. The evidence will show, and it'll come out, that he was married. They had 2 little boys. They were having this secret relationship.
Wait, is this another guy?
No, he's just lying because he was married.
This trial,
Oh.
friends with benefits, and that was their relationship. They would get together to have a good time. But she got pregnant in 2015.
No, wrap it up.
Gets pregnant.
Again, if you're gonna have a
On
side
July
piece,
the 26th.
you can buy things to put on your a little
July
raincoat if you want to say so.
26th.
Then you don't have to stab somebody.
Your
Exactly.
baby Dominic Alexander Vietnamese is born. He's born. The evidence will show that all of the time that this little innocent baby was alive, he was being provided for by Griselda.
Of course, Murph Turfs
and her
knows.
family.
They said 40 minutes, but I think the judge is letting them go. It's been like half an hour now.
Ever take responsibility for that innocent baby. But what do they say, right? Babies are expensive. Griselda had dreams. She had hopes. She had goals. You're going to learn that one of her dreams, one of her goals was to become a nurse like her older sister, Angelica. And we're going to bring you Angelica. And Angelica is going to be a very important witness. In
Oh,
making the
that's the
connection.
sister's name.
Her baby sister,
I thought Angelica. I didn't.
Anthony.
Spanish is not one of
Because
mine.
their meetings were secret, the family didn't really know much about Anthony. And Griselda protected him.
This is the border guy guard who
So
maybe
much so
killed
that
his
for the first 18
his
months
side piece and his
of Dominic's life,
18,
she
21
made
year old
herself
boy.
financially responsible for Dominic. You're going to learn that she wanted to be a nurse, but because of the financial strain that was going on in her life, she needed help. You're going to find out through the evidence that she was supporting her baby in the daycare through student loans. But student loans can only go so far.
Oh, so there's money problems. That's
Baby
always
needs daycare.
a good way to get the knives out.
Griselda needed help. And how do you get help in the state of Texas? Child support. And Griselda did what the right that every young woman has who becomes pregnant when there's a father who does not want to make himself responsible. She exercised her right to go to the Texas Attorney General and begin the process. You will see the evidence of her trying to say, hey, help me out. Help me out. But no help was coming. So what do? So the
Especially
chronology is
because you
gonna
have a
show that in
small kid, it would be
17
hard.
in December, she starts practicing how to tell him, hey, I'm going to have to go to the Attorney General. In January of 2018 is when she says, I need help. I'm thinking about going to child support. Can you help me out? This is when, and the evidence is going to show, and you're going to have to pay close attention to this. This is when the Facebook
activity is going to spike up with their communications. Every time she brings up child support, what he does is deflect the subject by using humor, talking about sex, giving her guilt trips. You're going to see this pattern, right? But he's not showing rage. He's not showing anger. You'll see the communications. And it's not how's Dominic. And Nene, the baby. Or the baby. But he doesn't use Dominic's name. By March the 21st of 2018, by that time, he's already been served. When you file a child support action in the state of Texas, one of the first steps is what's called a negotiation conference. A negotiation conference. And that's where the state of Texas will try to bring the father into a meeting to try to work out, hey, this is what the percentage is. This is what you're going to have to pay. By March the 21st, that was already set. You're going to see evidence that that train was moving. That legal proceeding had already started. And then something happens that had never happened before. Something happens. He says, I want to meet Dominic. And I guess through the pressure, something else comes out through these Facebook
Again,
communications.
don't
There's a
use
prediction.
Facebook to plan your crimes.
And you're going to see it. A prediction where he tells Griselda, in a few weeks, I don't think you're going to want to be my friend. Real subtle. In a few weeks, I don't think you're going to want to be my friend. March 24th, I want to see you guys tomorrow. In the morning of March the 25th, this is a very important date, ladies and gentlemen. On March
Baker, do you want to carry on until this opening is done, and then I can start my stream?
Is he frozen?
It might be frozen. The stream stopped.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how we doing? Sorry, I've been busy at work. I'm going to stream from my office today.
Do you have the setup to do that too? You're fancy.
I'm very mobile. This is my normal mic, but I put it on a little stand. See?
Oh.
So you get the same quality sound, just in various
the evidence
locations.
to show that she goes over there.
Baker, you froze.
I can see it.
Burgos
Yeah, I
says he's gonna
totally
be
lost
playing
connection
basketball,
everywhere.
and he's there at the
So
park.
I hope it was okay on your end.
No, we were just talking about you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like you
you're
always
right.
do behind my back. It's easier.
What I was asking you, if you wanted to carry on through the rest of this opening before I start my stream.
Father.
I thought I could,
She has
if we
to go
finish
back to
the prosecution's
to get
opening, and
some
then you
stuff.
can jump. They're probably gonna
So
go for lunch, isn't it?
She gives the baby over.
It's
to the
11 in
father.
Texas now, or something like that. Indigo,
Yeah,
what
it's
time
getting
is
close
it?
to 11.
Something that
Yeah, they're
maybe
Central
she
Time.
shouldn't have done. But she's so bad. she
Ah,
wanted to
that's
trust
like a
her dad.
Texas star, I think, on his
Over her
lapel.
innocent child to him.
Texans
She
are
goes to the
weird.
truck or the car. When she comes back, baby Dominic is crying.
I knew it.
Baby Dominic is in crisis. Something's going on with baby Dominic.
Baker's gonna have to go back and watch his own stream now.
She can't figure it
Yeah,
out.
and listen to myself speak. Nope.
It's so bad that she cancels the meeting. She takes the baby back and says, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go. You're gonna hear evidence from Angelica Hernandez. And you're gonna see the communication.
Well,
of saying
Now we're
something
getting
happened.
into all this. Let me turn up the emotions thing.
What happened to Dominic? I don't know. I think he got bit by something.
Oh yeah, I know why. It's because he was stabbed with a needle.
They get over to Angelica's house, and the evidence will show that Angelica, being a registered nurse, they strip down the baby, starts to examine the baby, and they find a small wound on his thigh. On his thigh. Think about it. You take your child out to a park in April. It's warm. You're in the outdoors. What happened? It was probably a spider bite. It was probably a spider bite. Even at that moment, ladies and gentlemen, Griselda, Angelica, still no indication that they were in danger. It'll be very important later on, and the evidence will show that that, in fact, was not a spider bite.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's a needle found in his back that he probably used to stab his child.
That over the course of the next 15 days, from March the 25th up until April the 9th,
Chicken minis?
you're going to see evidence that baby Dominic's leg did not heal.
Uh-oh. Baker, you're frozen again. Yeah, I'm so confused. It's like... was this stuff that came out after everything happened? He's frozen again.
She wanted answers. You'll hear from Dr. Rodriguez.
I don't know why
one
my
of the physicians,
internet
the
speed
pediatrician
just
that went to go
became
see him.
unstable.
They took baby Dominic. And what do doctors rely on when it comes to children? First thing they're going to ask you is the history. You're going to have Dr. Rodriguez come here, and he'll talk about the history that was given to him by the mother. It was a day or so after the injury.
There's something
There were
he's
some
done
photos
with
that were
this
taken
needle
by
before.
Angelica at her house. She had instructed her sister show them to the doctor. She didn't show them to the doctor. The doctor went based on what he was being told by Mama. Mama was telling him that it was a spider bite. So the evidence and the protocol you're going to see that was followed was that of a spider bite treatment. Antibiotics, other, little anti-inflammatory type things. And you know what? It's always easy to go back and say, if we would have known, because it was a hole.
That's racist.
When you're going to see it, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to show you the pictures that on his little left thigh, he has a prick, a hole. But what caused
My
it?
kids live by themselves.
What
They're
caused
too
it?
grown up to be living with their dad. It's just,
We're gonna
I don't
bring
know
you
why my
evidence
internet keeps fluctuating.
That is going to be a very plausible source of what caused that injury.
Yeah, he started out good, and then he came to
won't
we don't
say
really
how,
have any evidence, but
we'll bring it to
it will show that this is what happened, and there's some blood.
I'll finish up with
Oh,
this. So I could have 5 more
the
minutes.
judge ask him to do something.
That morning of April 9th, she goes. She's going to go meet.
No, it's
Anthony.
because it looks
She's gonna
like
meet Anthony.
a needle, and
She calls
they
her sister
find a needle in
Angelica,
the back
and
of
she tells her, "Can I borrow
the
your
dad,
baby?"
Ronald. So
She says yes.
Was
That's
there
why they-
testimony that the child died from
Goes and drops
poisoning?
Angelica off.
no,
Or, I mean,
the
is there an
the
allegation?
child died from
They go to Chick-fil-A. They buy
from
one of his favorite
being
meals,
stabbed
chicken
at least
wings.
2 times,
She said 8
once in the sternum and once in the neck.
After that, the evidence will show that they deliver the food to Angelica.
But they're
and she
trying to
makes
say
one more
that
stop
he tried to
at
kill the
Adriana
baby.
Flores' house. We will
Yeah.
bring you Adriana Flores, the last person to see her alive. Now, Adriana would have
Even
told
though
her,
the doctor said it was a spider bite, so
"Hey,
that's
I'll take
weird
care of the
too.
baby." And she says, "No,
Yeah,
I'm going to go see the father at Father McNamara Park. I'm going to go see Anthony." She leaves. She goes. She gets to the park at 9:09 a.m. We're going to show you video of the car driving in, the white Mercedes sedan, as she drives in and out of the different parking spaces. She waits. There's a Snapchat text that she gets. We figure the evidence will show that's her indication to go. She loads her stroller.
No, you're getting
Dominic,
distracted
she
because he
starts the
turned the
10 to
story
15
around.
minute
Now
walk
he went
over
back to
to
telling
Father Magdalene
what
Park.
what led into
She
the
gets
meeting
there.
in the park,
She's
because
killed.
there
Now we
was
have a double murder on our hands, and the Laredo police
some
are in charge
spider
of
bite,
unraveling this tangled web.
and she
And we're
wouldn't
gonna
like
bring
him in
you
14
those
days or whatever he
witnesses. We're gonna
said.
bring you
So
family. We're gonna bring you friends.
I'm,
Border Patrol,
uh,
police
I'm
officers
getting confused now
that
too.
will give you facts and show you how the evidence shows that this man used his skill, used
I'm using my
his
neighbor's Wi-Fi.
training, used deception, and used extreme violence to carry this out. One of the most shocking, and I need to say this,
Yeah,
one
they
of
are
the
on
most
Wi-Fi.
shocking moments in this case is going to be when they discover his identity. You're going to hear from Sergeant Gilbert Benavides, one of the officers who identified the vehicle, and they run the license plate. When he runs the license plate, it gives an address to Angelica Hernandez. So he goes to Angelica Hernandez's house, makes contact, and verifies. Angelica Hernandez is terrified. What happened to my sister? Can you tell me what she's doing? Yes. She went to the park to go meet Anthony. At this moment, and you're going to hear the live transmissions of Gilbert Benavides on Channel 3, where he says, subject, that's 82, which is dead, went to meet baby daddy or her ex, some guy named Anthony Burgos. Every cop that's on scene has a radio or a radio on his waist. That's broadcast. And guess who's standing around there at that time? That man right there. He hears it. He makes his way. The evidence will show he takes a 10-minute walk to go back to Griselda's car. And then you're going to hear, does anyone have visual on him? You'll hear lead detective, Raimundo Garcia. You'll hear his voice when he says, hey, that's the guy that found the body. That's the guy that found the body. Somebody get visual on him. And then Detective Ray will come and tell you he switches to a cell phone so that it's not broadcast. The killer is right there among the police officers in full uniform. Detective Reyes will come and tell you when they say Anthony Burgos, he sees Burgos and he says, hey, what's your name? And you know what the evidence is going to show? That he says, my name's Ronald. My name's Ronald. Deception. The name he gave Gisela was Anthony. And I'm wrapping it up. Detective Reyes has enough already where he says, give me your
How long has he
full
been
name.
going?
Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles.
55 minutes. The judge just told him to wrap it. So he should be getting to the end of it.
Get this guy's weapons up against the car. Take off your Sam Brown. Hey, what's going on? They disarm him. You'll hear when at that moment when they ask him, the hand gets close. It's a tense moment.
Are you doing the live chat or the top chat?
Big guy, 2-3 times any of our size. Thank God he was there. And
What's that?
It's Jody. She said she couldn't see most people's messages, but I believe it's the live.
There's a
versus
camera
broadcast.
in the unit. We will bring you the footage from that camera.
Yeah,
And
as
guess
I always
what?
say,
It
American
has
lawyers
audio.
likes to talk too much.
When he gets in there,
He could
and
have
you're
wrapped
gonna
it up
hear him
after
as
the
he
blood on
sits
the
in
back.
the back seat and he's licking and wiping his arms.
Yeah, it's a problem. Most American lawyers are like that.
Teléfono. He says that. Teléfono. Where are the phones? They're in the truck that is at.
I'm officially late.
Jody, if you're on Baker's stream, you're not
Three
going
phones
to
that
see
we
David's
use
chat. So that's probably what it is.
Detective Garcia will bring you all of this.
No, we can see it in StreamYard.
You also hear experts.
Yeah, we
Yeah, she
can
said
see
it.
both chats, but she can't
Dr.
see
Stern,
your chat.
our
And
Webb
most
County
of the
medical
people who is
examiner
watching this is on
will
your.
tell you, in her
So
opinion,
before
that
I
the
send you over to
injury
David, if
caused
you would
the
just
doctor
stop
to
by me and maybe
Dominic's,
give me a like or
baby
a
Dominic's leg
subscription, I would be
was
very,
caused
very
by
happy.
a needle.
I can see that we are 61 people watching, and
14 to
only
18
9 of them
gauge
is in my chat.
needle.
So
Something was
I have
injected
yours
into
up
that
too.
child. It was too late
yeah,
now
but you're a
because the
good
baby
girl,
was
Jamie.
now dead.
I know.
All the good girls are in my chat.
There was nothing else.
All the
that
bad
could be
girls
done.
are in David's chat.
But Detective Garcia will tell you that in his
I gave you a
personal
thumbs
truck,
up.
in his lunchbox,
Yeah, but you're a bad girl too,
guess
so.
what we found? Syringe and needles. Syringe and needles. In the end, ladies and gentlemen, all of the facts, all of the evidence, all of the circumstantial evidence that you use every single day in your lives will show that this man
He should have
used
stopped
his
20
skill,
minutes ago.
used his
Yeah.
expertise,
I'm going
It's
to jump
a-
over and start my stream
used his
Yeah.
equipment, used
because it
extreme
sounds like he's
violence
wrapping up. So I
Just
sent you guys all links to Jamie
to
and
kill
Baker if you
two
want to join me.
innocent people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And thank you for letting me do the morning shift. And
No, thanks for letting me tag off of your stream. It was great.
it's
You guys,
So,
if you're
all the
watching on
eyes-
mine, you'll be automatically redirected when Baker ends his. And I think if you're watching on Baker's, maybe too.
yeah. Go over, set it up. I'll end it in 2 seconds.
Your Honor, counsel, members of the jury.
Can someone in
April
chat
2018,
write when Davis is
there
up
is
and
a
running
murder.
so I can shut this
It's a
down and
total
everybody can go
aberration
over and see
of
it
the
there?
life of Ronald Burgos. Prior to that date, Ronald was a border patrol agent supervisor.
That's the big
He
problem
had
with
a
the spider
home
bite.
where he lived with
But
his
it's
wife,
too long.
Amy, who is a U.S. Customs and Border Protection agent,
Yeah,
and their
but
two
still you can
children,
go over and like
Gabriel and Damien, who were
my
10
channel. It
and
would
3
be,
years
I
old
would
at the
be
time.
so pleased if you would.
On April 9, 2018, Ronald, who has no prior criminal history whatsoever,
Yeah, but
was accused
I'm gonna
of
let
the
you all
murders
go over
of
to David. So
Griselda
thank you all for
and
hanging
Dominic
out in my
Hernandez.
chat.
This is an enormous anomaly, an aberration in Ronald's otherwise normal, law-abiding life. And now in this trial, Ronald is literally fighting for his life. As his lawyers, we have the duty to render effective assistance of counsel. The right to effective assistance of counsel is a constitutional right that every person accused of a crime has. And we have the duty.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much for showing up and watching along with me and in David's chat. I'm going to end my broadcast. Everybody go into MLS Law Show and follow his chat. And I hope if you like the show, give me a subscription or a like. I hope I did okay to entertain you for a couple of hours. But everyone, go over to David and then come back and subscribe to me another time. Thank you for watching. Bye, Jamie.